Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm Claire Freeman. I'm the Director of Customer Experience. It's nice to see everybody on the call today. We're looking forward to sharing with you some new information around the marketing side. So for those of you that I haven't met, it's nice to meet you over the phone. And I've got many of my team members on the call today, so they're going to help answer some of the questions that you have during the call today. If you would just send any questions into the Q&A portion of the meeting invite. See the Q&A area up at the top with the Q&A. Put those messages in there. The team will take a look at those and answer any questions as we go. We want to welcome you. This is our first of a series of 3 marketing mastery webinars. We'll have these recorded for you. We're going to share these back to you for anyone that's registered for the webinar, as well as we're going to place that in Intercom. So give us a couple of days to get the details organized, but you'll see those out there, back out to you guys very shortly after we get done. So on today's webinar, we're going to begin the webinar with Dave Bentz, our VP of Operations in North America. He's going to share some best practices around customer adoption. And then after Dave is done, Michael Horn is on. He's one of our implementation consultants, and he'll be on his test e-commerce site where he's going to show you some features of the platform. So features of the platform we're going to cover off on are EvolutionX Admin Analytics, Search, Customer Personalization, and Rewards. A couple of things that Michael will call out during the process is Rewards is a specific application. Does work with some of the ERPs, and some of the ERPs is a future enhancement. So we'll talk about that and answer any questions you might have in that regard. I'm going to go ahead and turn the call over to Dave now.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. As Claire said, I look after operations in North America. I think I know many of you, but I've been around the business for about 8 years. So way pre-ECI, working with Patty and the team, and then obviously now we're all part of ECI. For me, the quick summary here is we're trying to make all of you out there get the best value, the best return you can on your EvoX site. And so we're gonna cover some features that have been there for a while that we think drive adoption by your customers. That's what Michael will cover. And then as we go through the 3 webinars, I'm sure there's going to be some new features that you probably haven't seen before. And as you all know, we're constantly iterating and bringing out new capabilities. And there's an opportunity, I think, in the chat to put some questions in, and we'll follow up on those. But as Claire said, there's a series of 3. And I'm going to pass to the great Michael Horn. Many of you know Michael, but Michael has been involved in Evo. I don't know Michael. He's going to tell you how many years, but we're way into double figures. He is a good friend as well as colleague.
I don't have any grey hairs, Dave. No grey hairs at all.
It's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, Michael's a good friend of the company, me personally, and super knowledgeable. And I think this is going to be really valuable. So we're looking forward to the feedback as well. Last but not least, you may be aware ECI has a conference, an annual conference called Connect, and that will happen in November. Another opportunity to, certainly here in the US, come and join us in person in the Dallas area. So watch out on the bottom of all of our signatures or on our ECI website to sign up for Connect, where I think at least Claire and I will be present, along with many others from our team to interact with you. All right, Michael, over to you.
Awesome, Dave. Thanks very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, folks. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to giving you guys a bit of a guided tour of some of the hidden gems, should I say, within the platform. So listen, understand and appreciate that the whole Scottish accent is a little bit difficult to follow. However, my esteemed colleague Claire and Louise will be acting as translators in the background. So if you see anything or you hear anything that you don't quite understand, then feel free to drop them a line in the background. Now, much to your displeasure, I'm actually going to stop sharing my lovely face because I want the connection to run smoothly. So give me 2 seconds, we'll get the camera off and we're going to share the screen and run through some of this stuff together. So, can somebody let me know very quickly if we can see the screen?
Sure can. Yep.
Awesome. A few hands up. That's Always a good start. Okay, so first up is analytics, which in my opinion is one of the most powerful yet underutilized parts of the system. It records what your customers are doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it. Well, on the website at least anyway. The great thing about this feature is that it provides meaningful insights into how your customers interact with the site, allowing you to make improvements where you see fit and also seize sales opportunities that you might otherwise have missed. So let's dive in and get started. Now, from the admin screen, folks, if I scroll down, you should see this analytics piece on the left-hand side. And if you're a salesperson looking at this and you think, I haven't actually seen this in my admin screen, it could well be that it's not been activated yet. So what to do is speak to your account manager, speak to your web administrator, and they will activate it for you. If you're a web administrator looking at this thinking, actually, I've never seen this before and I don't know how to activate it, well, then let me just show you how you do that. Louise, you'll thank me for this because this will save 200 support tickets coming in tomorrow. So down at the bottom here, we have admin users. If we click on that and then click on the ellipsis next to the user that we want to activate analytics for, select edit, and then drop right down to the very bottom of the page, and you'll see that analytics just needs a little tick in that box. Hit save, and then the next time that staff member jumps in, they're going to see the analytics section. So that's how easy it is. Now, analytics is actually made up of 3 components. We've got pages, real-time, and searches. And if we start with pages in the first instance, the dashboard that's revealed here provides a very comprehensive overview of the traffic and engagement on the site. It shows you where customers are visiting from geographically, the split between users and guests. And if we scroll down, we're seeing things like top users, as well as top products, categories, and content page. So quite a bird's eye view of what's happening in and around the store analytically. And this data isn't static, right? You can actually dissect and examine this data at such a granular level. So let's put the sales hat on for a second and think about the opportunities that are available to us. If we look at top categories, we can see that office desks has been viewed more than any other category in the last 7 days. And if I hover over office desks, you'll see that we get this little plus and minus symbol. So if I'd like to have a look who has been looking at office desks, I simply just click on that little plus symbol, and then it will reveal on the right-hand side who has been looking at the desks. Furthermore, on the left-hand side, it will show us some of the other pages that these users have explored. So if I click on that URL, I can then see what Louise and Michael have both seen from an end user's perspective. Now, this 100% warrants a courtesy call from the salespeople. You want to be able to weave the topic office desks into the conversation. Or if you have a really good relationship with your customers, maybe it's just a case of picking the phone up and saying, hey, Louise, I see that you were looking at office desks. Is there anything we can help you out with? This whole section is a massive treasure trove of opportunities begging to be explored by salespeople. So once you get the keys to this, folks, go and have a look about and explore. The other area that I'd like to draw your attention to while we're in here is this split between users and guests. Now, if you're purely or predominantly B2B, then you might want to consider opening the store up, particularly if your stats look a little bit like this, where you're getting a lot of traction from guests. I had a conversation with an Irish reseller of office products back in March, and we analysed his data. And what became clear was that furniture had gained a lot of traction, but his store was closed, so nobody could actually buy anything or inquire. So what we opted to do was switch on the Quote Me button on his store. So if I flick to his site right now, you'll see that Quote Me is now against all of those products. So if somebody stumbles across this website, they like the look of what they're of the office furniture, they can click on Quote Me. They can then request the number of desks that they're looking for, leave their details, and then send that off to the reseller for them to quote accordingly. Now, this was activated for this reseller back in March, and they have had hundreds of furniture inquiries since it went live. And one of the last furniture inquiries actually led to a €15,000 order. Now, I'm not sitting here saying the quote me button is this magic button that's going to transform your business, but what I am saying is that you need to start analyzing the data in this section here. A 5-minute daily review could ultimately lead to thousands in additional sales. Okay, next up is real time. So if we click on analytics and jump into real time, this is not dissimilar actually to the page we were looking at a second ago, but it records every keystroke that your customer makes live on this dashboard. So we can see that right now there are 2 people on the site. And if we scroll down, we can then see what those users are doing. And it's funny actually, because you've just seen 2 seconds ago that Louise was looking at chocolates. And after her telling us that she was on a diet, it would appear that that's not the case at all. So it looks as if she's fallen off the wagon and the diet will probably recommence on Monday. Shame on you, Louise. Anyway, this is great, right? If you spot any common themes, such as people browsing desk fans, for example, you can quickly build some marketing around that and apply it to the web store. This whole section here exists to help you be more proactive as opposed to reactive. Last but not least, from an analytics standpoint, is searches. So if we jump back into analytics, click on searches. This section here records all search-related activity on the site. So if we run from left to right, we've got the number of searches that have taken place over a set period of time. And that is driven by the date range that we have here. So we can run this from today right through to having a custom range where we could run that from as far back as last year to this year. We've got the number of successful searches. So in other words, when someone has searched for something, it's brought back results, versus the number of failed searches. In other words, someone has searched something and it's not brought anything back. Beneath that, you've got the top searches that are taking place on the website versus the top searchers on the site as well. Now, I want to pay particular attention to successful searches and failed searches. And if we start with successful searches, the word successful in this scenario means the system returned a set of results. It doesn't necessarily mean that those were relevant. And I want to explain what I mean by that. So at the top here, we can see that coffee is the most common search term that has taken place on this site. If I go to my demo site and do a search for coffee, I would expect to see things like Henkel, Nescafe, Starbucks, but unfortunately, what I'm getting to see instead are things like coffee tables and coffee cream filing cabinets. And this is the point I'm trying to make, folks, is if you've access to this, monitor your successful results, because, as I say, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are successful. You want to make sure that you're delivering relevant results to your customers, because the longer it takes a customer to find what they're looking for, the less likely it is that they'll purchase those products from you. Now, I'll go into a bit more detail on how you customize that later in the session. For now, though, if we focus on failed searches, back into the admin screen, into searches, click on failed searches and scroll down. You'll see that we've got a mix of typos, incorrect codes, and products that aren't available on the store. And the latter, I would see, as being a bit of a sales opportunity. For example, we can see quite a lot of failed searches for tools such as sanders, planers, and nail guns. But in this made-up scenario, I don't sell those products. But clearly there's some appetite for them. So as a salesperson, I would want to make contact with each of those customers to the right-hand side to A, learn more about the requirements, and B, ascertain whether we could fit in to help out. Nothing beats a bit of expansion revenue. If you guys can source it, your customers will buy it. So moving on to search on the storefront. If I just go back to my lovely little demo store here, I'm hoping that you guys sing from the same hymn sheet as me when I say that search is one of the most important parts of the system. You can have the best looking website in the world, right? But if your customer does a search for gloves and it brings back fire extinguishers, then it kind of defeats the purpose of having a good looking site. Well, the great news for you folks is that this system is super robust from a search perspective. Allow me to demonstrate. If I do a quick search here for safety, if I could spell, safety glasses, what you'll see is, yeah, we've got safety glasses, excellent. But you'll notice that we've pushed the Boley brand to the top of the pile. And that's because we might want to have the Boley brand feature first before anything else. Whereas if we do a search for safety helmets, despite the fact that we've got quite a few Boley branded safety helmets, we're actually delivering the Centurion brand. Why? Well, perhaps you've got a good relationship with the Centurion sales rep and you want to push his stuff to the top of the pile. Or you make more money on the Centurion brand, therefore you push them to the top of the pile. And certainly the latter seems more attractive to me. So how do you take control of which brands appear where? Well, from the admin screen, within the product manager, if you scroll down, you'll see a brands priority section. So if I click on that, and let's say we want to make 3M a top priority, we would add new priority, search for 3M, and the system's asking, do you want to make this the top priority? And you say yes. And then the system asks, do you want to make that top priority for all categories where 3M exists? Or do you want to break that down into some subcategories? And this is really clever, right? Because let's say you get some really good deals from 3M on gloves, but not great deals on safety helmets. It means you can go in and push 3M's gloves to the top of the pile, but keep Centurion positioned at the top for safety helmets. So really clever way of re-engineering search to your advantage. Beyond that, you can create things like search redirects. Why would we want to do that? Well, let's use coffee as an example. Earlier on, when I searched coffee, I got coffee cream filing cabinets and coffee tables. Let's say for high-vis t-shirts, we want to take customers through to a nice set of results. Well, if I do a search for high-vis t-shirts, the first thing you'll notice is they've got way too many results. We've got 974 results. The next thing, of course, is that some of these products aren't actually relevant to what we're looking for. So we have a chair, we have t-shirts that are not high vis. How do we remedy that? How do we create a much better experience for the customer? Well, first thing we need to do is take this URL, because we'll need to use this in a second. And now we need to find a better set of results that we want to deliver to the customer. So if I scroll down slightly and click on category, I might just want to display the polo shirts and t-shirts. So if I click on that, you'll see immediately we've gone from almost 1,000 products to under 400 products, and it's a much better set of results as well. But just to really fine tune this and polish it, what I might also want to do is only show high-vis t-shirts that are in stock. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, we have an in-stock toggle. If I just click on that, it then further refines that search to 251 products. So what I need to do now is jump into the admin screen and go right down to the bottom. From store settings, you have a redirects area. So from redirects, we add a new one, and we're going to use that old URL that we had, and we're going to replace it with the new URL that we've got. Jump back into the admin screen, add that in there. And if I save that and go back to our site and do a search for high-vis t-shirts, you'll see that it bypasses that original set of results that we had and now delivers this much better set of results for the customers, which just makes for a much better user experience for the customer. You could take this to the next level with redirects. So I do a search for Boots, again, 1,000 products, and those products that appear at the top are actually out of stock. So that's not any use to any of your customers. So what we could do instead is actually take them to a nice content page with beautiful deals on footwear. Sorry, that's just not very good marketing, but you guys would do a better job than that. And then if I scroll down, under there, I've got boots, shoes, and Wellingtons. And beneath that, I've then got some of the best sellers on shoes and boots. So this, in my opinion, is a significantly better experience for your customers than what we saw when we did a search for boots earlier. Two more things to show you from a search perspective. You have the ability to associate banner content with keywords on here. So if we do a search for footwear, what we have over and above the results that we would expect to see for footwear are top picks for work boots and safety shoes. And behind that is a nice refined list of boots and shoes that you might want to sell to your customers. So again, I don't know if your customers are like me. I'm like a magpie, more attracted to bright, shiny things. So if you've got that banner content and you can push it to the top of the pile, it just makes sense to do these things. Last but not least, from a search perspective, is the no search results page. Right now, if somebody does a typo on your site, it's likely that they're going to be presented with a page that looks like this. Your search did not match any products, which is just a dead end. It's not a very good experience for your customers. Now, in preparation for doing this webinar, I actually created a no search results page. So what I'm going to do is run you through adding that to the system and then showing you what it looks like on the front end. So we go back into the admin screen and scroll up slightly here to appearance, go into the layout settings. And then if I scroll down, you'll see there's an option here for no search results page. Right now it's sitting at default, which is the page that we saw a moment ago. If I click on this and select no search results page, this is the layout that I've created within the system, and hit save. Go back to my demo store and then just misspell something. What I'll get now is this beautiful no search results page. And it's saying, sorry, we were unable to find what you were looking for, but here's some search tips. Try your search for typos, try a more general term, or look below for further assistance. If they scroll down, they'll see frequently links to their frequently purchased products. If they've bought it before, they can click on that and it will take them through to their frequently purchased products. We've also delivered the contact information if they want to just pick up the phone or send an email. But the icing on the cake is this: while you're here, you might like to add section. I've dropped in some of the top essentials here. And I can tell you folks, I've monitored enough of these pages through various analytics tools. These pages work. Whilst the customer's on here, they will add these things, whether they intended to or not. So this is a really good tool to help get more from your existing customers when they're on this page. So there you have it, folks. 6 tactics that you can action right now that will A, improve the user experience, and B, boost sales. Last but not least for me on this session anyway, quick question. How do you increase orders, order values and margin online whilst keeping your customers warm and fuzzy inside? The answer, customization. Let me log in as a customer and show you exactly what I mean. So prior to getting on this webinar, I set Louise and I up as users in here. So if we jump in as my esteemed colleague, Louise, in the first instance, what you'll see is that we've changed the logo for Louise's logo. So it's Louise Construction Limited, building dreams one brick at a time. Then we've got America's most handsome man, Dave Bent, as the account manager with all his contact information. Beneath that, we've even got Louise sporting a safety helmet, because Louise, ladies and gents, always put safety first. But the key thing I want to draw your attention to is this top picks for Louise Construction Limited. I've delivered this widget purposely for Louise because she's a construction business and I want to show her things like high-vis jackets, rigger boots, safety glasses and helmets. If I log out as Louise and then log in as another user who just so happens to be moi, you'll see that not only has the logo changed and the personalized profile picture, but because Michael resides in Scotland, he gets to see things like umbrellas, heaters and wellies. And behind each of those banners are products that are relevant to him and his needs as a business. Now, this is like having an extra salesperson in the organization. Whether it be seasonal, promotional, market reactive, or even customer specific, you've got this window of opportunity to sell more stuff to your customers. This, for the people who are actually deploying this, it is working exceptionally well. So how do you set this up? Well, I'm going to show you at a very high level, and I'm sure we can follow up in the days and weeks ahead with some additional content. But in the admin screen, the first thing you'd want to do is create a label. So if I click in labels, you'll see that we've got the construction business label here. It's already been created. After I've created the label, I would want to then assign that to customers who fall under construction businesses. So if we go to the customer manager, into accounts, if you have a number of customers who have the word construction in their business name, you can actually just do a search for construction in the company field, and that will bring all the construction businesses back. So this just makes it easier to sort of multi-select and apply labels. So if we do that multi-select on the left-hand side, and from the drop-down, just click assign labels, we can then add that construction label to those customers. After we've done that, we want to add a banner to a banner group. So within marketing, if we go to banner groups, I think I've already created one for construction. We'll just check. Yeah, we have one here. So you would create a banner group. You would associate the label construction business to that banner group. And then what you would want to do after that is create a banner container. Now you might be sitting thinking, I've just created a banner group. Why do I need to create a banner container? Well, the idea behind creating the banner container is that you contain that banner to those lists of customers. So into the construction container, add your banner group, which is the construction banner. And the last thing you need to do is go into the appearance section, into layouts, go to the account dashboard, and down from your bank of widgets here, do a search for a banner container. Drag your banner container into the canvas, select the construction container, hit save, and boom, we've got what you guys saw a short while ago. So just to recap very quickly, create your label, assign the label to the customers, create the banner group, associate the banner group with the container, add the container to the layout, and you're done, just like that. That was a bit of a roller coaster. Claire, I've covered the 3 topics that we were going to discuss today. So hopefully, albeit a very short session, I'm hoping that a lot of people that are tuned in will have got a lot out of that. I will pass it over to your good self just to finish things off.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Michael. That was a lot of content, a lot of information, so we appreciate that. Taking a look back through the questions, if we could just for a minute, and again, please, put your questions into the chat so we can make sure we're answering those for you. So John was asking about how you might add, how do you add the you might like to add segment page. So we've answered that for him in the other chat, but it's achieved by using the item merchandising widget on the page layout, coupled with the item group and item container, and that's a lot to say. So John, if you have further questions, send us an intercom chat and we'll jump on a call for you and screen share. Probably a little bit more complex one coming in from Keith at Greenville. How does the redirect work if you have certain customers that may not have the same catalog makeup? Example, most customers have all catalogs, but there are a few that are limited to certain catalogs, so catalog restrictions, right? The items exist in their catalogs, but the redirect is going to send them to a category that isn't in their assigned catalog, therefore creating a 404 error.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Off the top of my head, I don't think there is a solution. I maybe need to take that one offline, Claire, and see if there is something that could be done just to get a better set of results for that customer.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Keith. I know we've got a call with you on Tuesday, I believe. We'll make sure we've got that answer prepared. When we get the answer, we'll send it back out to the group as well. So we have dropped in the knowledge base article here for the data analytics within EvolutionX platform. And we'll put in other knowledge base articles here in just a bit as well. John had asked a question if I search keywords, what people have typed, or they're from banners. And this is coming in from sorry, things coming over there. Those are the keyword searches. So then John asked, does it include keywords in the redirects? He's getting strange results. Maybe just an intercom chat on that one, John, as well. Just
yeah, I was going to say if you could perhaps give us some examples, we could certainly look into that.
Thanks, John. If you could drop those in and or just send us an intercom chat, we'll take a look at that for you. Okay, Keith coming back in. Suggestion would be maybe to make redirects adjustable by catalog container and not just one global redirect. I think that's just a deeper conversation within the tool set, Keith, on that one. So we'll take that forward and come back to the wider group on that. And I know search is a topic that we've been working on when you have multiple catalogs and making sure we're improving some of those tools as well and putting together a checklist, if you will, indicating how you best use the features within the platform to make sure they're not stepping on each other. So Michael had showed you about coffee. So if you use keyword of coffee, you're going to bring up coffee colored, end tables and desks, coffee, and so on. So there's some opportunities there where we've got some nice articles coming out in that area. Nolan's office is asking, is there a reference page about the focused banners and customizing for customers?
Sorry, Claire, can you ask that one again? Sorry.
Sure. Is there a reference page about the focused banners and customizing for customers? So is this the
As in
banner?
like a knowledge base article, is that what we're referring to? I think that there should be. If there isn't, then Louise and I will bang our heads together later on and produce something.
Yeah, they're referencing the last topic that you talked about, Michael, that you were explaining in that regard, just to narrow in on the question there. The focus banners for customizing for customers. So like when Dave logs in or Louise logs in, a different banner comes up, right? So the customization for the customer. So there is an article on that.
I believe so. But as I say, if not, Louise and I will write something off the back of this session and share that with everyone that's on.
Perfect. All right. Jenny was asking from Awisco, is there a way to make the analytics data exportable? It's not available now, but we'll add that to work with you, Jenny, to add that to user voice. I think that's a great idea as well.
Yeah, I saw something recently that Paddy had demonstrated, and I think the dev team have got the bug for this and want to take it to the next level. So, yeah, watch this space is all I would say.
And again, new releases will be in Intercom, so keep an eye for those. We also will drop in the link for user voice, and that's where you can put in feature requests for us. The dev team uses that to review against the roadmap and always taking a look at the customer feedback on what it is you guys feel would improve the overall features within the platform. So we'll drop both of those links in here in just a minute as well. Louise, if you don't mind dropping those in. Any other questions from anybody on the call? If you want to drop those into the Q&A, that would be great. And then just a reminder, we've got 2 more sessions like this coming up. Those will be scheduled on, find my notes, July 11th, the same time. And then there'll also be one, hang on, looking through my notes again, guys, I apologize. A couple weeks after that. July 11th at 11 Eastern. And then the other one will be July 25th at 11 Eastern as well. So both of those will be all about marketing. In session 2, registration links are going out, should be in the Q&A from Katie in just a minute. We'll send those out like we did for the first session. If you have topics you'd like to see, please make sure to drop those into the chat, reach out to us through Intercom, and we'll make sure we're incorporating those into the next sessions. And then just a reminder again, we've got the Connect conference coming up in November. That was loaded into our Q&A as well. If you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to us through Intercom or to me directly. It'll be a great session. It's a great opportunity to learn a lot about the platform. We'll have specific training sessions around specific ERPs as well. So take a look at that registration and join us there in Dallas. Michael, anything else to add, or Dave?
So I think Dave and I were going to speak at the same time there. No, it's really good to see so many customers engaged and keen to learn more about the platform. And, you know, we're all about helping people as much as we can. So let's see what we can do over the next 2 sessions. Oh, Dave, you're on mute.
Okay, now?
There you go.
Thank you, sir. Hey, I just want to say thanks for joining as well, and thank Michael and Louise and Katie for organizing this, and Claire is the lady of ceremonies always. And I just want to flag at the Customer Connect conference, we are going to release a mind-blowing new feature, truly mind-blowing. And I think if you know me, I'm not. You're going to be blown away with something we're delivering in the platform. All of which will be huge value, I think, for all of the customers, whatever industry you're in. It's going to be awesome. So just putting that little tickler out there to sign up for the Connect conference. And again, thanks for joining. And honestly, Michael, sorry you're a Scottish team. Scotland is out of the European Championship in the soccer or football, depending on which continent.
You really had to get that in.
And I know I've offended Louise, and she may jump off mute now to come down out the screen at me. But
no, I am a professional individual, dear Mr. Dave Bent, so I will keep my opinions to myself.
And I'm cheering on the USA and Canada in Copa Americana, so let's see. I haven't followed that one, so maybe they're already knocked out. But okay, we'll move on. We'll let everybody go and look forward to seeing you on the follow-up webinars. Thank you.
Thanks again for joining, guys. We appreciate you. Appreciate your input. Have a great day.
All right.
Have a good one, guys. See ya.
Bye.